Hello, welcome to part 2 of Nostradamus' Great King of Terror. First of all, I'd like to make an apology. I had mentioned earlier in the first segment that it was in the month of May 1999 when I double-checked it was in the 7th month. It doesn't really change anything too much, but there's a clearer identification with the 7th month. Now, as you know, the Lord, if you check Wikipedia or anywhere on the net, his name also always has to be a 7. Or a 25, a 16, any 7, but it has to be a 7. That's a whole another different subject. The number 7 in the scriptures blankets the entire scriptures because it is the number of God, his name. So the 7th month of 1999, which would be July here. The word 7 is a 12/26/1956 time of birth. It ends with the number 65, but it's really a 56 the way you calculate it around. You'll find when you add the letters TH for 7th, you have my name, my full name in code as an 862 and an 8611 added to it. You also have an 88, which is the reduction of my number into double digits. And it totals a 93, which again is reduced to a 39/21/60 for 12/26/1956 with a 5/9 time zone ratio, I believe. Okay, so the 7th month definitely identifies myself. The month itself, the word month, when we add it up alphanumerically, right before the total, which is a 70 or a 7, we have the numbers 6, 8, 2. Again, Eric Robert Powell, 862. Now you know who he was referring to. And it's not the Great King of Terror so much. I've seen this on many sites. There's one site that said the Great Financier will come. Now I have 3, and I'm going to do this very quickly, of the same quatrain but listed by different interpreters. The full quatrain reads, the year 1999, 7th month. From the sky. Now, I am known as Horus. My father's middle name was Oris, O-R-I-S, which is also a sky god and goes back to ancient Egypt. His son, once he is assassinated and turns over as Lord of the Dead, my father as Osiris, I become Horus, take his place, and wipe out the people who killed him and who have been riddling the planet with diseases, pain, suffering, tension, stress, tears, and the like. So we have the year 1999, 7th month, from the sky. Now the sky is a falcon. The falcon is known in the Bible as a kite. And it says, do not eat the kite. Now, and it's not because it's unclean, but he's too clean to eat. And all children fly kites because the falcon was the highest flying bird ever found. And this is why children fly kites. The falcon is clocked at 201 miles per hour top speed, which is also my number. And the name Falcon has my 12/26/1956 time zone, birth ratio, and the like. Now, there's the same quatrain by a different person says, in the year 1999 and 7 months, a great king of terror will come from the sky. He will bring back the great king Genghis Khan. Before and after, Mars rules. Not war rules, but Mars rules. Now, Mars is a planet which used to have life, which the pharaohs came from. If you check the internet, the pharaohs left the pharaoh's face on Mars. it's been computer enhanced and whatnot. You can check that out for yourself. We built the pyramids, the Sphinx, so this was not a big, huge problem for us. We like to leave our mark wherever we go. Okay, Mars rules happily. Now, Mars is supposed to be the god of magic and spiritual transformation. It also spells the word ram or rams. And in ancient Egypt, the ram was the sign of Amen-Ra. They replaced the sign of the ram with that of the goat, because a goat can dance on a crevices or on a high mountain without falling, and he can dance on a cliff without falling. And a goat is also a 7, and the Jews use a scapegoat to take away their sins. We did this and this and this, and they send them off. That's not, and then they do more sinning, and they do the same thing. I think they do it every year. I don't know if they still do it. They probably do. I'm not forgiving their sins, and I'm not a scapegoat either. Now, it's also connected, with the god Baal, B-A-A-L, which is also a 7. He was also known as Lord of the Sky. And the different interpretation, we have one, instead of Great King of Terror, it says that the Vicar of Christ shall return, the rightful Pope. P-O is for power, P-E is for the souls of Pe or the god Pe, also in my initials. This is how I know I'll be the next Pope. I'm next in line. The Pope knows it, the Jews know it, that's why they're scared. Also, in our last segment, since they have satellites and whatnot, if somebody noticed, they said the word good. Now, in ancient Egypt, you had to be good in order to enter the mysteries. Since they weren't good, they were not buried properly. Whereas we were mummified and our body parts sealed, we did not decay. We left them to decay. And once they decayed, they turned into maggots, which turned into flies. And this is why 44% of the European Jews' genes are that of a fly, a fruit fly. If you take the number 100 and subtract the number 44, which is also the number of Set, the god of chaos, which is these Jews, and their 44% fly genes, you're left with the number 56, which is myself, and the basic code of life, as we talked about earlier. So the 44, which is the European Jew and is also the number, alphanumeric number in the name or word, disease, when I eradicate disease, the world will be perfect. That's the eradication, of Set and these flies. And they carry so many diseases, as I said before, because there were no diseases before these white Jews came on the scene. Now, Genghis Khan, this is referring to the Mongols. Genghis Khan operated and owned a landmass 21 times the size of the Roman Empire. And it says in the quatrain that he will be brought back. Now, the number 126, by the way, Genghis Khan is a title. I'll give you his name later. We're going to have to do this in a three-part segment. He was born in the 13th century, and 13 is my number, as 1226. 56 is a 94 reduced to 13, and the sun is 94 million miles away. He also included parts of China, he was Chinese, Central Asia, the Middle East, as well as Europe. Now, in the year 1206, and we mentioned the number 126 before, and this is where it's so imperative for us to go over it again. By 1206 AD, he unified all of the rival clans and took the title Genghis Khan, which means universal ruler. which the West terms a brutal monster. Now, his empire lasted for 150 years. My name is Robert is a 15, and the Jews owe us, our people, $105 trillion as a base figure. Now, after his death, he was born in 1162. That's a 1226, no matter which way you look at it. His birthplace was in Mongolia, and he died August 8th in the year 1227. So when we take the word August and 1227, we have a 3921 for the number 1227, which equals 60, which again are my numbers, and which totals 60, let's say it's a 6 at the end, and the month August in which he died, which is an 86, which means that the Jews get 86 once again. Now, the last ruling descendant of his was Amil Khan, but he was disposed by Soviet forces back in 1920. Now we have the number 219 also as a 39, 21, 60. So I am taking care of his descendant as well as Khan himself. Now, he was the grandfather of another famous and slightly more pleasing to the Jews ruler, Kublai Khan. Now, Genghis Khan's true name was Borjigin or Borgian Temujin, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, which I don't have it right now. That name comes out to a 1226, 1956, and all of that stuff also. Genghis Khan was also the founder of Mongolia. But Georgian Temujin is a 714, a 71421. It totals an 84 because 7 and 1 is 8, and then you drop the 4, it's 84. But if you take away the total, it's a 714. Temujin is a 1226, 1956, and the number 921, or 219, however you want to say it. So you can see how easy this is for me. This is why the Jews know nothing. Now, the title Genghis Khan is a 1956, 77, and a 196. 196 being my entire name, first, middle, and last in alphanumerics, my year. And the 77 is my complete 14 date of birth, 12/26, 1956, reduced to 8383, which is 14. The name Mongol is a 76. In it, you will also find the number 126, as well as my birth date and so forth and so on. When you add Mongol, E-R is really the god Ea, I-A-H, but we'll just skip that for now, which is an 86. My birth date in that name of that country is 12/26, 1956, 9.5 ratio twice. We're going to go into, also, he's not the great king of terror, he's also known as the great financier. That's the true rendition, is what we're supposed to go by. So that's the end of this segment. Look forward to the next segment. Goodbye.